Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of M for Meanies.
Yay!
This is a new podcast we're going to be trying out.
Yeah, this one won't be regular like stable. This one's more of when we want to talk about something. And this won't be censored at all.
Yeah, this one's
That's
more...
why it's called M for Meanies, because it's rated M for Meanies.
Yeah, this really isn't. I guess Pony might come up on it every now and then, but this is the focus of just anything.
Yeah.
So this one is not so much for our kitty viewers.
Honestly, you can listen to it if you want to, but we're going to be talking about the first episode's dedicated to where we got the name for this podcast.
Yes.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
That
Yes.
was a Tumblr post that started it, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
This courtroom is full of meanies. Yeah, it's rated M
And for me,
meanies.
when we saw that and we just loved it.
Yes.
This
And
is
not
a
only
murder
that,
trial.
We're all huge Phoenix Wright fans.
Oh,
huge.
Seeing
huge Phoenix Wright
Seeing as how I technically finished Dual Destinies just hours ago, yes.
Oh, it's been
24 hours.
It's been
at
over
least.
24 hours.
That's still hours.
But yeah, he's finished 5/6 of the game. He hasn't beaten the Orca case yet.
I'll get to that after I...
But this is also 4 days away for Spirit for Justice, and we're all super freaking excited
It's going to be...
for this game.
Yes! Oh my goodness,
But real quick, since we're talking about Phoenix Wright, we're gonna go and start with Trixie over here. How did you get into Phoenix Wright?
my friend David, I've known this guy for over 10 years now.
is he who I think is he the NyQuil stops the coffin guy?
Yes, he is.
I hate him so much.
He's been my best friend for 10 years now. He got me into the first game. Oh, man. I shattered a heart just now.
Your best friend? But...
Oh, wait, I can say that. Fuck off.
It's like,
But I
wait.
blew you.
It's still the stable condition crew, but we're doing things a little differently this
Well,
time.
I think everyone has at least heard of Phoenix, right? Like, they know the objection thing. Like, I knew of that before I even played the game.
Exactly.
What year
that's-
was this? Do you remember that at all?
I remember the house I was in. It was around the time when, I think the 3DS just came out at this time.
Okay, so around 2011.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have been I'm not trying to sound hipster, but I've been a fan longer than you have.
Yeah.
That's
it
the
was
funny
around
thing
that.
about it too, is like you bring up a good point with that about how with Phoenix Wright they won't know the name Phoenix Wright, but as soon as someone goes objection,
They know
the light
exactly.
bulb immediately
They
goes
know
off.
exactly what you're talking about. And so, like, I just played the first case, and I was just like, oh my god.
I have to-
This is awesome.
Did he let you borrow it, or did you go out and buy it?
He let me borrow it. Like, he had it on his phone.
Oh,
and so
okay.
I played the first case on his phone, and I was like, I really want to play it. So I went out and bought,
A DS copy.
yes. And I still have, now I have most of the games on physical copies.
Yeah.
'cause-
Mine is Dual Destinies, unless you want to go out and buy a Japanese version.
Yeah, which is,
I didn't know they had physical copies of Dual Destinies for Japanese.
It's only for
Yeah.
Japan. All other regions outside digital only.
Right.
But for me, it's kind of the same thing. But this was back when Phoenix Wright first came out, which I think was. Well, I'm gonna look it up real quick. When Phoenix Wright actually came to the States,
I believe actually
2001 it was in Japan, right?
I think 2001 is when Ace Attorney came to America. I think
No, 2001 was when it came out in Japan on the GBA, and they were originally planning on porting it to the GBA in America, but
Then my guess is going to
Yeah.
be 2003.
no, it is during the time of the DS, and it's
Oh.
later in the DS cycle.
That's
When did
true.
when did like the original like the brick DS come out?
2003,
Oh,
or 2004. That was it. For North America, it was 2010. No, hold on, that's the Wii version. Sorry.
I say
no
no.
way.
2005, October.
Okay,
12th.
that sounds
Wow.
way more.
It was
believable.
It was summer of 2006.
Six and a say.
That my buddy Matt, he bought it and he was playing. He's like, "Wow, this is really good, Jonathan. You should try this out." I know it's weird hearing the name Jonathan when you always hear J Thor, but he let me borrow it and I started playing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! This is even my kind of game." But I want to play more. And then I got to Rise from the Ashes, and I was like, "Where's more? I need more." And I didn't know that it was a trilogy already established and all that.
He's like, where can I get the others?
I didn't even know about like the whole Rise from the Ashes being an extra case.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
Oh, who's complaining?
Exactly. It's I just love these games. I'm trying to see when Justice for All came out because it wasn't too long until Justice for All came out afterwards, and I finally bought that and started playing it.
Nice. I just remember, like, as soon as I finished the first game, I just bought the other two, like, instantly, without even, like, thinking, like, I want these.
Yeah.
These are mine now.
So you were lucky. I had to wait.
Actually, you know what? No, I do have a bit of a question for you guys.
Well, real quick before you ask a question,
How'd you get into it?
we can guess it was Trixie, but like
There was also another
Actually,
contributing
no.
factor to it.
There was you're right. There was a contributing factor to it. Like it beat you to the punch by just a little bit. Shocker! It was heavily influenced by My Little Pony. The fan project Turnabout Storm, which is a My Little Pony Phoenix Wright crossover, which I am a massive fanatic for. Like, I've been following that since I discovered it, and I remember I even threw, like, I had my own little solo watching party for it whenever the final parts came out, which I thought was
Totally.
they were so worth it. They're amazing. To this day, I still love. It's one of the most. You know what? Like, since we're going off of comparing to Phoenix Wright and whatnot, the ending to Turnabout Storm, which I will dare not spoil, is
I dare not speak his name.
it was just as satisfying as the ending to Farewell My Turnabout. I can't argue that. And believe me, you know how I was just like, oh, you got blank, 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 spoiler, 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 spoiler. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
For Farewell My Turnabout. Oh, it's such a good case. But, yeah,
They just started that on the anime, too.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I'm so far behind on the anime. But basically,
We both are.
Yeah, but basically what happened was I saw Turnabout Storm, which in it shows the mechanics of how the game itself would work, and I was like, this looks fun.
And then that's when I was like, oh, dude, you should totally play the game.
It was like, I just found the first one on sale on Amazon for $20. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I plowed through that very quickly, loved it, and let my friend Seth borrow it. He still has it. I haven't gotten it back, but I don't need it because I can just go get the
Trilogy.
Exactly. I mean, I'd like it I'd like to get it back just because I still have the case for it, but that's whatever.
That's the thing. I don't have the cartridges anymore, but I still have all 3 original cases with the original manuals in them.
Yeah.
Nice.
But just it was a combination of My Little Pony, Trixie over here, because lo and behold, you were the glue that put both pieces together. It's like, oh my god, duh, yeah, I've always loved Phoenix Wright. I was like, oh, this isn't new to you too?
Oh, no. Which is funny because the girl, Alexis, who got me into My Little Pony, got into Phoenix Wright because of Turnabout Storm as well. So I inadvertently got her into Ace Attorney as well.
Well, that's the thing. There's a reason we bronies people in general nickname bronies the gateway fandom, because that gets you into so much on its own.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, what was the question you were gonna ask us?
Have you guys ever watched any crime dramas?
No, the most I've watched related to crime stuff is Forensic Files and other shows like that.
Well, I'm talking
I wouldn't consider those dramas.
No. Like,
those are more
like they have their own. They're not educational or anything. They're like their own original storylines and cases and whatnot.
No.
Like Law and Order. My parents are big into that. Okay, they're good. I've watched quite a few episodes of. They really like Law and Order Special Victims Unit, which is good. It is good. And I really do enjoy it, but it's just with the curveballs that an Ace Attorney case can throw. I mean, anyone in the comments is more than welcome to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said this," but I do stand by it. At least from what I have seen for Law and Order, any of the other crime dramas, Ace Attorney cases are the most wonderfully written crime drama. Like, I'll take those over Law and Order any day.
And that's the thing. We really have the Capcom localization team to thank for that.
No kidding.
Because they take the Herculean task of taking a series that originally with the first game, they never specifically say they're in Japan in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
They leave it open to interpretation. Then when it didn't get brought to America, they're like, well, it's probably not going to be brought over to America because Americans might not like the visual novel things. So we're just going to go and have it set in Japan. And then they had the task of combining the two into
Japanifornia.
Yeah.
Even though the way
and they had to write their own lore for it, where I think it's like World War II never happened or something like
Whoa,
that.
what?
There's some kind of lore that they came up with because one of the translators were asked about it, and they're like, yeah, in my mind this happened, and this happened. That's why Japan and America are so closely together.
Okay, sure. But it's like...
And speaking of that, also, like, when it comes to, like, stuff like that, like localizations and whatnot, in animes, like, that's... Like, people hate that crap. Like, especially when 4Kids did it. They Americanized the animes. But whenever they Americanized Phoenix Wright, not only did we embrace it, we made fun of it.
Exactly.
And, like, just loved it. And it added to the experience of Ace
Exactly.
Attorney.
Like, the Ace Attorney fandom is truly a pure fandom. It
really
truly is. I've never seen a single ounce of hate from it. Now, then again, I could be completely wrong. I have not really delved deep into the fandom.
I'd say
I just see
the only reason
occasional images and stuff.
The only reason I'm just going to say that you're wrong is only because of my personal philosophy that nothing is perfect. There's going to be something we'll dig
Dude
up.
Perfect.
Dude Perfect is pretty cool. Hold on. Totally tangent, but real quick, they're no longer in that building.
What? They moved?
They moved. They got a newer place. I have no idea where it is, but they posted on their Twitter as like, here's DPHQ2. I was like, damn it! I gotta find where they are. I'm a massive Dude Perfect fan.
Dude Perfect.
Dude, shut up. Dude Perfect fan. That's my favorite. That's my favorite non-pony YouTube channel. I love those guys.
Other than Epic Rap Battles.
Epic Rap Battles too. Anyways,
but real quick, what is? We all know each other's favorite cases.
I think we all share the same favorite case.
Well, we kind of have to because
It's
that
the
case
best
is just
case.
so good. It's from honestly the best game, just story wise.
Well, hold on, real quick. Just like with all, like we've seen, excluding the Orca one because I can't contribute to that yet. But let's see. The first game had 5. Second game had 4.
Third game had 5.
5. So right there, that's 14 cases.
Apollo had 4.
Apollo had 4. That's 18.
Another 5 for
So that's
ED.
23 cases.
24 technically.
For the Orca?
With the DLC, yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten the Orca yet. So I have
Lucky
experienced 23 cases. 23 cases. And in only one of those cases I thought was just kind of meh.
Turnabout Samurai.
Yeah, Steel Samurai was just... It wasn't bad, it was just eh.
Yeah, but Bridge to Turnabout is our #1 favorite just because
oh my gosh.
that game is perfect because not only do they flip your head or flip you over in the second case with double jeopardy
Yeah.
because you never expect that.
Are you talking about the...
Mask to Mask.
Yeah, Look at Me?
Yeah. And
By the way, we're totally... do you want to do this with spoilers for that? Or
no, we're not gonna do any spoilers.
I'm about to say, because, like, I'm kind of hoping, like, the way I see this is if somebody listens...
If you want to, someday we can do a spoiler cast.
Sure, but, like, someday, not someday, like, my goal, like, my personal goal with this is if we can get one of our listeners to go try an Ace Attorney game.
Exactly.
We've done our job.
Exactly, so definitely don't spoil it. But we will say, it's also, like, widely accepted amongst Phoenix Wright fans that Bridge to the Turnabout is...
The perfect case.
It's funny because the first time going through it, I was not entirely sure, like, the magnitude of what was going on. It's like, I'm beating it and everything, but it's kind of weird, kind of was, like, a little confusing. And then I went back and rewatched the playthrough of it and, like, just got to see it all again. And it was like
It clicked for you.
either the second or the third time of seeing it, and it clicked of what was going on. I was just like, oh my god, this is incredible.
The only thing that really tops it, I guess, for me would be Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, but mostly because, like, it's basically just one case and it's like an entire game long.
It is?
That game is just absolutely incredible.
But that's the thing.
I've never
like,
fangirled so hard.
To be perfectly fair, can we add that into this pile?
No, not really. It's not. I don't know if it's canon. And
It's
also,
not
like,
canon.
There you go.
It's not canon for either game. It's a crossover game.
And it's just one of the best games I ever played.
Really?
Just because, like, I'm such a big fan of both. And like when I saw the trailer for the game the first time, I was like, well, I have to play every Layton game ever because I had an interest to play them already, but like this just gave me an excuse to like, yep, you're doing this.
How many Layton games are there, anyways?
There's 3 on the DS, and there's 3 on the no, it's 4 on the DS, 2 on the 3DS, and then there's a movie.
There's a movie?
Yes.
No way.
The movie's really good.
There's a
I
movie?
highly suggest it.
Yeah.
There's actually a couple.
I had no idea. Again, like
Seriously, the Professor Layton series, I've only played the first game. I absolutely love Layton to death because I was raised to be a gentleman. I know you would never guess that by being around me. But I
wouldn't.
I was honestly forced to read a bunch of books on how to become a gentleman.
Wait a minute. This is just a silly question. Did you ever get signed up for Cotillion?
No.
I had to go to Cotillion once.
But and I loved Layton because he would constantly talk about how much of a gentleman he was, and just he really does embody that British gentleman.
If you've only played Curious Village,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, play Unwound Future.
I heard that was really
It's
good.
the best in the series. It made me cry.
Like
Wow.
how much of Layton?
Real quick, did Phoenix Wright ever make you cry?
It got close to with Bridge.
Bridge, I wouldn't call it like full on crying or anything, but a tear or two did roll down my my
just
cheek
like
with
just like an oh my god moment, like
several oh my god moments.
Yeah. But honestly, just real quick to go.
Turnabout Storm did make me cry, though. I can say that.
Just to go back to Trials and Tribulations, that is the absolute best, and just because we say it's the best does not mean you need to go play that one first.
Absolutely not.
You need to
No.
play
in order.
it from the first game onward because they do make references to previous games, and not only that, you need to. That's the beauty of Trials and Tribulations. You get to know these characters, so you're so much more invested by the third game. And that's where we're bringing out the A game. We're gonna show you every aspect you want to know about the first 2 games, and then crank that up to 11.
Pretty much, yeah.
not only that, but like that game's actually significantly harder than the first.
Yes,
2
it
games.
is. Like
Yeah.
I have to swallow a lot of pride when I have to look up a certain part that I'm stumped on. It's like, how was I? And there are parts where it's like, how the hell was I supposed to know to present that at that specific part?
Yeah.
Or in Apollo Justice's case, like cranking up the bullshit factor of how was I supposed to know his armpit was sweating?
That was the part that gave me the most trouble in that game.
Because they
Apollo's,
added
bracelet.
they added a new
I think it's the last case, isn't it? With that.
Yes.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was just a random example. How was I supposed to know his nose hair was was twitching at that one line?
Yeah.
Because in Apollo Justice, the 4th game, they introduced a new game mechanic called Proceed, which is really cool. I like the
And
mechanic.
honestly, another thing about Apollo Justice, everyone, a lot of Phoenix Wright fans hate that game, but it's a great game on its own.
I don't know why
It's
they
because
hate it.
Phoenix was taken off from the main stage. Because Phoenix's original trilogy was his story. He wasn't supposed to come back.
Mhm.
That's why we had that all happen to Phoenix and why Apollo comes to become the new Ace Attorney.
But by that logic, you can't if you follow that logic, you can't like Dual Destinies either.
I know.
Because that a large part of that game centers around Apollo and Athena.
Let's not forget Investigations as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
think I'm the only one that's played the first game all the way through.
Yeah, I haven't beaten it.
Let's go ahead and get that through. I have not touched a single Miles Edgeworth investigation game. I'd like to.
Which thankfully now, because I have an R4 card and I found a English translated version of Ace Investigations 2, Trixie's able to finally play it.
I've been waiting for so long. I'm really excited, but the game is really good.
It's completely different.
Instead of there's no courtrooms, but instead of the back and forth, the guy tells him his part of the story, and then Edgeworth he cross-examines him by himself and questions him. It's like, oh, so you did this, blah blah blah, and there's no
it's also
judging, there's no anything.
Yeah.
Like you walk around too. You physically walk around, look for evidence.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I actually did see that, and it's such a strange addition to it.
It's also a great look into Edgeworth's mind and all that, because we can all agree Edgeworth is easily the top 3 prosecutors in the entire series.
I'm of the unbiased, not unbiased. I'm of the unpopular opinion.
Oh yeah, he chooses
Francesca?
No, not Francesca. I do like Francesca though.
Gavin.
I like.
Do you think Gavin's better than Edgeworth?
I don't know. I really don't. Like, believe me, I fangirl every time Edgeworth comes on. I'm like, yes, I love Edgeworth.
Because literally, I know for me and Trixie here, Godo and
Black
Black Quill
Quill
are tied for number 1.
I know.
Because Godo does have it a little bit in the lead for me, just because Godo was just amazingly written. Amazingly.
If I am actually, like, you know, gun to my head, if I have to rank them, I would probably say Godot, Gavin, Black Quill, Edgeworth, honestly. Or I might flip Edgeworth and Black Quill. I don't know. But there's, aside from Winston, he's a little bitch. I love all the prosecutors. They're all very, very well done. Even, you know, the ones we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
The Von Karmas.
Well, Manfred was much better than Francisca, but
do you not like Francisca?
she's just the weakest to me. She relied too much on the whip, and it was more of a pain kind of comedy. When Godot was comical, it was because he chose the wrong witness or something like that.
Well, to be fair, Black
This apron is clean as a whistle.
Well,
we know something strange in her pocket. What?
To be fair,
And by the way, that was great foreshadowing on their part. just
oh,
saying.
absolutely. To be fair, you could say the same thing for Black Quill, because I mean, his whole gimmick is, we get it, you're a samurai.
I know, but the cool thing about him is you have that visual cue of, oh shit, shit's about to get real.
Like, I mean, sorry for that. Sorry for those that are going to hear this, but it's like whenever Black Quill goes,
Oh man.
and he does that.
no,
a
he
lot.
does this,
Yeah, it's
and
like-
the shackles shatter.
I know that was to me in Dual Destiny, and that's not. Would you consider that a spoiler?
No,
A minor
It's in the
one?
trailer, so
it's
it is?
honestly in the trailer, and
Oh.
it's very well known that.
But yeah, they're like the first case in Dual Destiny is when they introduced Black Quill. There's a part, I think, in like the first trial, whenever something happens that pisses him off so much, because he's in shackles, and he slams his fist on the table on the podium so hard they shatter. To me, I literally look at my DS like, oh shit!
And also when he says silence for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's like
Silence.
That's not objection.
Yeah, just Black Quill was a wonderful prosecutor. Absolutely adored the guy. And everything about his story was great.
Oh yeah, Black Quill. And again, like I just finished Dual Destiny, so
you
this is still very fresh in my mind.
You truly do understand why me and Trixie be like, yeah, it's hard to choose between Godo
Oh,
and
of
Black
course.
Quill.
But you can also understand why I like Gavin.
Oh yeah, I understand
Guitar.
why, Gavin.
No, it's honestly not the guitar thing. I mean, yes, okay, I play guitar, I write music, he writes
It's
music
just a
too.
funny thing. Yeah.
I know, but honestly, it's just I like it whenever like he is your competition. Like you have to beat this guy, but he's not an asshole. Because I mean, let's be honest, to an extent, Black Quill is an asshole.
Oh yeah.
To an
Edgeworth,
extent?
yeah, I'm trying to be nice. Edgeworth is an asshole.
Well, in the first game.
In the first game, yeah.
Yeah, which is what the majority of the people are going to see him as.
Yeah, but
Nine investigations.
one day
Play those games.
I think we should do a spoiler cast after we've all beaten Spirit for Justice.
That'll
You
work.
want-
That
Okay,
way,
'cause,
the
like,
game's
again,
fresh in our mind.
This
and
specific
we can talk about
episode,
everything.
yeah, we probably can because this specific episode is telling people about Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Go play it.
Honestly, guys, it's truly one of the best games ever created, in my opinion.
It's one of my favorite franchises.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I still remember the E3 trailers and how it won so many awards, and that was unheard of at the time for a handheld game to win so many awards.
Not to mention a visual novel game.
Exactly. And thank you, Capcom, even though you don't even know what a Mega Man is anymore.
Who?
Oh, wow.
Who?
You guys at least do a damn good job with the Phoenix Wright games.
Yeah.
I just wish you bring over Daigaku Ben Saibon. I
Oh
wish you'd
my
bring
God.
that over. So I want to play a game with Sherlock Holmes in it, but I'll just wait for a fan to translate it one day, and then I will get an R4 card and play it that way.
Can we talk about a thing in the mechanic? Like for Phoenix Wright, this goes all across the board. This is in every single Phoenix Wright game. But let's talk about the mechanics of the way it works. Like one of the we've covered the characters.
Okay, I can sum it up easily.
characters
The
are-
defense is ready, Your Honor. You're a fucking idiot.
That's not a mechanic, but it's very reoccurring.
That's very true.
No, what I'm getting at is we've talked about how amazing the story is, how wonderful the characters are. The replay value is also very, very good. Like, aren't you still on Justice for All? Like, didn't you go back and play it?
I went back. I finished it. I'm back on Trials again.
Oh, okay.
Same here. I'm on about the middle of the third case for Trials again.
Recipe for Turnabout. I like that one. Anyways, no, what I'm getting at is like the mechanic of the gameplay, like something in it, like because for me, I'll be the one to say it is like for me. The weak part of the game when it does slow down is during the investigations. Like sometimes you do have to put your head down and plow through that.
Really, really nice thing about Dual Destinies and Onward. They have the whole checkpoint system where you've already looked at something. Because in the original Phoenix Wright games, say you put it down for like a week. You come back
don't do that.
And you're in the middle of an investigation. You're like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? They literally have a checklist where you can go. They'll suggest like, oh, you should probably go do this.
Go investigate.
And then when you actually investigate an area and you put your little cursor over it, it'll have a little check mark if you've already gone over that.
Well, that's the thing with the original games, like especially if you do like if you said you put it down and come back like a week or two later, that puts you in a hell of a bind because you're picking up. It's like I totally forgot where I'm going, and eventually like you have to swallow your pride and go look it up, and your immediate response is, how the fuck was I supposed to know to go investigate that leaf way the hell in the background or something like that? Because you can't progress until you do it.
And also, one thing we haven't mentioned, the music.
Oh, the music is incredible. Is amazing.
Every single game has
yes.
Is amazing.
And the music really plays into it, especially for the court trial parts.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you get that right piece of evidence and it goes silent when you do objections.
No, that's actually what I was trying to lead up to with this is Phoenix Wright games. It can be Ace Attorney, it can be Apollo Justice. It doesn't matter. They all share this. They have. For me personally, like in all the games I've played over the years, one of the most satisfying things ever in a game is for those who haven't played. Like one of the biggest parts of it is cross-examining witness testimony. Like someone comes on the stand, they give their testimony, and you have to point the contradictions out, and you present evidence. Like if somebody says something like, "I've never seen that knife in my life before," but you have a piece of evidence that says their fingerprints are on. I'm just using a random example. Yeah. This isn't actually in it, but like, I've never seen that knife before. Piece of evidence, knife, has his fingerprints on it. You present at that statement, and or like you present evidence, and whenever you do, you go, objection! And if the music is still playing, you got it wrong, and you're going to get a penalty. But if you got it right, you go, objection! And the music stops. And oh my God, that is so fucking satisfying. Like, ask these two. How many times have you got? Because out of the three of us, I'm the new blood. I acknowledge that. So how many times have you guys seen me going through it for the first time, especially
at Brunson's house?
At Brunson's house the other day, whenever I get that, I get pumped up. Yes. Like, I scared the shit out of Rowan with that when I was going through Trials and Tribulations at Alcon. It was like, objection! Yes! Fuck yes! Finally! And I probably made a clip, but it's like,
you did.
Yeah! It's like, I get into it because it's such a satisfying feeling because it feels so good to bust them.
It truly does.
And that's one of the things that makes it so great. But yeah, the investigations, for me, you guys can totally have a different opinion, but to me, you do sometimes have to, put your head down, just plow through the investigations because
In the older games, you do.
Okay.
The first four, you do. With Dual Destinies and Beyond, they've made it much more streamlined, so it's a lot easier.
But in Dual Destinies, I can still say that the same thing is just the idea of doing the investigation. It still slows the game. It doesn't kill it, obviously, but it still slows down. But once you get to the trial,
that's where the meat of the game is.
Of course it is. Once you get to the trials,
that's where the funniest stuff happens, the most serious. All the best parts are in the courtroom.
It's like when you get into the trial and you start it, you don't want it to end.
Yeah, and you're sad when you beat a case, especially when it's the fifth one. You're like, I want more.
It's like, I guess I'll go outside now.
Well, they did make the investigations better when they added the Magatama.
Yeah.
That it was like a mini kind of courtroom in that.
Yeah,
situation.
and I love that. I honestly really like that.
Also, one thing they add to Dual Destinies, especially when you're at the very end of the case, and it goes into the mind of whoever you're playing.
I
as.
love that.
That is
so
one of the
much.
best additions they have ever done to the series.
You gotta understand, like, I'm going through that for the first time on my own. Like, first time I saw it was when I was going through the case, the Monstrous Turnabout, which is the second case in Dual Destinies. I went into that having no idea about that. So whenever, you know, it's Apollo's piecing together what's happening at the end stuff and showing us like, what is this? This is so cool! I was fangirling all over again, and then they did it in the next case, and the next case is like, oh my god, don't stop this. This is so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They always seem to add, they'll try to add a new mechanic with each game.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one they added for Trials, because they added the Magatama in the second game.
Let's think about that.
I don't think they did.
Trials was mainly just the same old song and dance, but what a song and dance it was.
I think the only really new thing they added was the black locks.
Would you even call that a game mechanic, though?
No, but it's that oh crap moment.
It isn't, yeah.
And then
don't spoil
Apollo,
what the black locks are.
I don't even remember, so I wouldn't spoil it.
I'll tell you
anyways.
off camera.
And the Apollo, they added the
bracelet.
Perceive,
Which
bracelet.
is a cool mechanic. It's just bullshit.
They even added stuff in
Dual
investigations.
Oh yeah, they did.
What they do in investigations?
Edgeworth's, he has a logic thing where like it's not evidence. He just jots down in his head events, and then you put two and two together, and it makes him like realize something else to continue it on.
There's a game mechanic in Dual Destinies we gotta talk about that I love. How we have so much love for Athena.
Yes.
Athena is amazing because that new.
I still remember the final case for you. I'm not gonna spoil it, but when he's playing it right there in front of me, he's like, "Oh crap! What's happening? Oh Jesus Christ!"
What was happening?
It was during a certain character you were doing a cross-examination for, and you use her hearing thing.
When everything was going haywire.
Because she has a thing where she can understand people's feelings through their voice, and you have to pinpoint which feeling they're feeling at that point.
No. Basically, what's going on is you give your if you don't you listen to them and you because Athena is a character who studied a lot in psychology and everything. It's kind of like her her gimmick and whatnot, but it works amazingly. But basically, that mechanic that they introduce it's the exact same thing as normal. Like they give their testimony statement by statement by statement. However, instead of trying to present evidence that contradicts it, this is what happens whenever.
Oh yeah, you're trying to contradict the emotion.
Yeah, they'll say a statement and they'll show 4 emotions: joy, sadness, surprise, and anger. And as they're given their statements, those emotions will start flickering and showing that they're present as they're given these statements. And it's your job to figure out which one doesn't make sense. Like if somebody said, and again, just random example, it's like, I saw him shoot her, and she fell dead on the ground. And 2 emotions flash: sadness and joy. Well, why is joy flashing? And you'd pinpoint that and explain, this is odd. And when you gave this statement, you also expressed joy. Now, why is that?
Yeah.
And it works. It's so awesome.
Yeah, but real quick, I think we should go ahead and cut off here, because if we keep talking, we're going into spoiler territory.
Is that my fault? Am I kind of riding the line with that?
No, you're not riding the line with it. Just, we all want to talk about this game.
We want to talk so bad.
But yeah, if there's anything you take from this, go play Phoenix Wright. If you have a 3DS, the trilogy is like $30, completely worth it. 3 games for $30, really good.
Cartridges would cost you more than that, anyways.
Yeah, true. And not only that, these are up-res graphics. Some of the translation's been reworked, so it makes more sense. Some jokes have been updated, stuff like that.
Not to mention, I'm on it to me, I'm a little surprised that we didn't spend much time on this. I'm even more surprised I'm not the one who brought it up, but the music is just so goddamn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought it up.
That's why he said he's surprised he didn't bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at is, pardon the quick plug, but you can bet your ass I'm going to be doing Phoenix Wright stuff on my channel eventually because I love that music so much.
Godo's theme is my personal favorite out of them.
You know what? I should talk to my buddy Retro Sax and see...
if you guys can do a cover of it.
Well, he plays saxophone like a beast.
I know he does.
And that cover and that part. You know what the funny thing is, actually? Because of Godot, I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but because of Godot, I drink way more coffee than I used to.
Godot will do that to you.
He does. I swear to God, he does. And it's not just
his 17th cup for you.
I can't respond to that because it'd be spoiler.
I know.
You're putting me on blast here.
Anyways, this was the first episode in for Meanies.
Let us know how you guys like it. It's a little different than what we normally do.
Yeah.
But
We'll see you next time after Spirit of Justice.
But yeah, well, how about we just sign it off as always? Do you want to do that?
I don't care.
Sure.